I'm at the Phoenix 2-Gun Action Challenge match, March 2021. I decided to shoot my iron sight KP15 today. It's a lightweight 14.7-inch barrel with permanent flash hider, and I just have a simple Midwest Industries fixed rear sight. Typically don't engage a lot of long-range targets or small targets at this match, so it's a good opportunity to do that. Haven't shot irons in a while. It's been almost 2 years since I've shot irons only at a match, so sometimes going back to old stuff like this gives you a appreciation for modern sighting technology. So let's see what happens. So about that lack of further and smaller targets at this match, well, today's rifle stage is basically a Where's Waldo for anyone not using a magnified optic. There is an unpainted mini IPSC target at 200 yards that is basically impossible to see with the naked eye from the shooting position. What's supposed to happen on this stage is the shooter makes one hit on that target, gets up, runs a lap around the barrel, comes back, makes another hit. They're supposed to do this 10 times in 180 seconds. No one was able to complete all 10 hits in 180 seconds. I'm going to speed this up now because you're just going to see me missing for 180 seconds. I cannot distinguish the target against the background. In fact, sometimes I'm engaging in the wrong section of the backstop there because I think I see the target and I don't. Even people with optics with magnification on the stage struggled to visually identify the target against the backdrop. At the end of my 30-round magazine, I make one hit on it, and it's time to reload and get up and run a lap. You can hear some laughter from the crowd at my commentary. Ultimately, if you can't see the targets, encouraging people to bring iron sights to this event is basically a waste of their time and ammo. I did talk to the match director after the event, and he did agree that the combination of target size, distance, and lack of visual contrast presented too difficult of a shooting problem for anyone without magnified optics. Each 10-second increment under penalties represents one hit not on target. So you'll see me there with plus 90 for only getting one hit out of the 10 required. There was one other iron sight shooter that got 3 hits on target, but you'll see that most of the shooters here got somewhere between 3 to 6 hits, the highest number of hits being 8. After a shitty first stage like that, it's real easy to give up mentally and not really care about the rest of the match, but I'm still going to do my best on the rest of the remaining stages. This stage requires that the shooter hit 2 plates down, then hit the plate at the back of the range on the move between the 2 cones. This process repeats until the shooter has knocked down all the plates and hit a final hit on that steel all the way at the back of the range. I'm using my daily carry K34 with Warren Tactical Savigny sights with a red fiber optic front post. I use the red fiber optic front post on my iron sight handguns because it's easier for me to mentally switch between acquiring the dot on a dot pistol and acquiring the front sight on the iron sight pistol if I'm looking for a red dot in both cases. I do have to make myself slow down more when I'm shooting iron sights to make sure the sights are fully stabilized before sending the shot. With a red dot pistol, it's easier for me to just let the sights dance across the target and send it. I think you'll agree from the handgun portions of this match that my capabilities with an iron sight handgun versus dot handgun are much closer together than using an iron sight rifle versus optic rifle as I do most of the time. I'm first tack iron and third overall on this stage. This is yet another iron cross drill that the match director at this event is so fond of. The shooter has to make one hit on the scored paper between all these no-shoots from each position while carrying a 60-pound kettlebell from position to position. From this position, I favor the right shoulder to avoid getting a shoot-through on the no-shoot. No-shoots are worth plus 15 seconds. From all of the center positions, I'm shooting center of mass. From this leftmost position, I'm going to favor the left side of the target again to avoid getting a shoot-through, but I don't do it quite enough, and we'll see at the end that I did tag the no-shoot to the right in the shoulder. All hits there, but one no-shoot. On this stage, I'm first in tack iron and 12th overall. This stage begins with the shooter slinging their cleared and flagged rifle. It is treated as a stick in this condition, and the 180 does not apply. I throw it over my back so it's completely out of the way and does not interfere with my pistol shooting. The shooter must get one hit on this steel target from each of these 8 positions. The shooter only has 8 rounds to do so. Every time I get on target, I let my sights fully stabilize, prep the trigger, and send it. I do not want to get a miss. Each miss is worth plus 10 seconds. With a dot pistol, I'd consider shooting one-handed and saving some time of putting the kettlebell down. But with an iron sight handgun, I'm not going to risk it. Observe my economy of motion of carrying the kettlebell in my support hand, hands coming together as I come up into position to shoot, and my arms extending out simultaneously. Rounding off the corners on these processes is how you save time. On this stage, I'm first in tack iron and 5th overall. In the end, I'm first out of 2 shooters in tack iron and 12th out of 28 shooters overall. The match is over, and I'm not really happy with how I did on the long-range stage, so I go back over to the 200-yard bay and get some hits on the 200-yard steel to prove to myself that I can do it. All right, so clearly when I can actually see the targets, like these well-contrasted black painted targets, I can make hits at 200 yards. But when the target's gray and blended in the background and the shadows, target identification and actually being able to contrast it and see it against the iron sights and the backdrop is the problem. So it had been a couple years since I'd used iron sights on the clock at a match, and I'm reminded why. Using iron sights takes a lot more work to accomplish the same result, and it is definitely more challenging depending on target presentation and lighting conditions. Now, a carbine like this can be perfectly serviceable for different applications. Honestly, my application for this particular gun is it's ready to go at home. It's simple, it has a light, and I can grab it and use it if I need to inside those distances inside my house. But for 200 plus yards out here with poorly contrasted targets, definitively a challenge, and it did not perform on the clock. As you can see, when I have properly contrasted targets, making the hits is no problem, but you can't count on targets having that type of contrast in the field. Thanks for watching. Come back again for more match and multi-gun competition content.